Today, the family of a young mum murdered at the hands of her ex-boyfriend is demanding justice following her killer's controversial sentencing. And a warning, this story is distressing.
It's every parent's nightmare. 21-year-old Mackenzie Anderson stabbed 78 times by her ex-boyfriend in her own home.
Mackenzie was a mother. She was a daughter. She was a sister and a friend to many.
He had been jailed 6 months prior for assaulting and intimidating her. Just 16 days after he was released on parole, the young mother was dead.
He should not have been out of jail. I place a great deal of blame for my daughter's death on our justice system.
Her killer had broken an apprehended violence order 8 times. Mackenzie left fearing for her life.
Most domestic violence offences don't happen suddenly, they happen in slow motion. And once again, a judge chose not to punish him and let him walk free.
Last week, her distraught family watched on as Tyrone Thompson was jailed for a non-parole period of 15 years and 6 months.
Their loss will last across lifetimes.
Justice Weinstein's sentence was an insult to women globally. We're disgusted that this sentence is what they think is the value of my daughter's life was worth.
With lawyers now appealing the sentence, Mackenzie's family is continuing to fight for justice, garnering support from community and government.
We are listening to her. We need to listen to her. Both the Attorney General and the Cabinet Office have spoken to the DPP about an appeal. I'm hopeful that that would happen.
A lifetime of loss now turning into a lifetime of advocacy.
Her voice was taken from her, but mine will not be silenced. Her life mattered.
Well, Mackenzie's mum, Tabitha Acret, joins us now. Tabitha, you've been at a rally today or yesterday in Perth. Clearly there's a lot of sympathy. There's a lot of strength of feeling, but can you, I guess, express any sense of where this momentum might go? What's the momentum for?
Well, we're really hoping for an appeal. One of the really scary things about this sentence is it's obviously devastating to my family, that it's a huge insult to us that this is what they think it's worth. But what is really scary is this case has now created case law. So now other violent offenders could quote this case to try and get a lighter sentence. And I don't think that's what we want to be doing. There was a 0 sentence given for the AVO breaches. I think that sends a very dangerous statement out to people, not just to women who says, don't worry, the AVO, don't bother getting it because nothing will happen. But it says to violent offenders, don't worry if there's an AVO, we won't do anything if you don't do anything with it. So it's really scary. I think I'm not just fighting for my daughter, I'm fighting for women across Australia. This is intimate terrorism that I'm fighting against, and we really, really need a change. And we need multiple changes. We need a change in the way that we try and prevent domestic violence, because what I'm working on now is how we're dealing with the trauma after, and this isn't what we really want to be doing. But we also do have to have essentially a real punishment for taking lives.
Well, Mackenzie, I mean, she really did all she could. She took out an AVO, she contacted police on the night she was killed, and she'd reached out to domestic violence organisations. Do you have any understanding of why all of that wasn't enough to save her?
Because I believe that he had one plan and he did it. And the AVO is a piece of paper at the end of the day. And we have since had some ankle bracelet monitoring, but we only put it on selected people. That potentially could have been something that helped her. But we need programs where we're actually trying to do something to change the behaviour of these men, as well as the punishments as well. And we need to be looking at how we keep the women safe, because when we just send them back to their home and say, let's hope for the best, it's not working.
15 years non-parole, that is an absolute joke. What sentence would you like to see given to the man who took your daughter's life?
Well, considering my daughter's son was only 23 months old when he witnessed that murder, and he was there that night, and he's going to bear that trauma for the rest of his life, I think that he shouldn't be leaving jail before her son is 18, because I now have a traumatised child that I'm trying to help. And that's another trauma for him to see him released before he's 18. So I really think that we should be looking at least 20 plus years. You know, I'm biased, I'd love to see even longer, but we shouldn't be seeing men who break into homes and stab their partners 78 times in front of a baby only get a 15-year non-parole. I don't think anyone in Australian society thinks that's acceptable.
Tabitha, it's Mother's Day today. How difficult is a day like this for you?
It's really hard. You know, I'm never going to have my child for Mother's Day again, but what's worse is her son's never going to have a mum for Mother's Day. And there's so much trauma and there's so many families that won't have their children or their mothers this Mother's Day. And I really wish that this didn't happen to another family. And it's one of the reasons why I'm out here advocating. I'm speaking to any politician that will listen to me. I'm speaking to the media that will listen, is that we need desperate change and we need it now. The homicide review and domestic violence by the coroner, the Labor government has essentially in principle agreed to all of their recommendations, but they've implemented zero. We need to not just review things and say, oh, we stuffed up, but then not have action afterwards. That action is needed. We have to follow up those words with doing.
Tabitha, we really appreciate you coming on tonight and sharing your story. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
For National 24-hour counselling helpline and support, you can call 1-800-RESPECT. That's 1-800-737-732. And I think what Tabitha's saying is actually really interesting, right? Because there's always this tension between whether justice is there for the victim or justice is there for the perpetrator to ensure that they don't repeat offend. And I think Tabitha's making a broader comment there about the way penalties and punishments are not dealing adequately with the broader cultural and societal problems that exist and occur on the way to someone losing their life. And I think that there's something very interesting and kind of important in what Tabitha's talking about there.
Yeah, and like, what an incredible mother still fighting for her child.